I love her. Oh, Kate, you're magnificent.
Not a week goes by when I don't catch someone staring at me.
Oh, gorgeous, Brittany.
He brings you back up to that level of happiness and self-assuredness.
Just like that. Oh. Gorgeous, a little shoulder. It's gorgeous.
Oh, that came
Isn't
out
it
well.
beautiful? Look at you.
I'm used to a lot of bad pictures of me, and Rick's are so contrary to that.
Fashion photography has always been really exciting for me. What got really kind of boring for me, though, is I started losing who I was. I was not always allowed to follow my own instincts. I kind of felt that I had to work within the parameters of somebody else's idea or standard of beauty. I mean, I used to fly first class with my crew, and now I'm flying cargo with the chickens. But it doesn't matter. It's glorious.
My name is Kate Farrington. I've lived in New York for about 5 years now, and Rick Guidotti has been taking my picture on and off that whole time. It's an experience that I always look forward to.
Look at that face.
I never in my life believed that I photographed well. It's sort of a freeing experience to just say, this is me, and oh my God, that's such a wonderful picture. I had no idea, and it leaves you soaring a little bit at the end of it.
People say quite often, oh Rick, it's so beautiful, you captured the inner beauty. No inner beauty, this is beauty. We're just trained to look somewhere else. When I ran out of my studio one afternoon, I spotted a young woman waiting for a bus right on the corner of 20th and Park. She was beautiful. She had long white hair, gorgeous. She didn't have pigmentation in her hair or her skin. She was gorgeous though, and I had never met a model with this genetic condition. I've never photographed a person that looked like this. I ran to medical textbooks to find out what I could about this condition. I didn't know much about albinism. And I found images of sadness, of sickness, of despair. What a contrast to this gorgeous kid I saw standing, giggling with her friends and her hair blowing. After seeing this girl, I was so empowered. I knew something had changed my life, and I called NOAA, which is the National Organization for Albinism and Hypopigmentation. I said, hey, I'm a fashion photographer. Let's redefine beauty. Let's show the world the beauty of albinism. And they told me to get lost. Their fears of exploitation, their fears of portraying another negative perception of these kids. And I said, let's partner. Let's do this together. Let's work as an organization and change the way people see albinism. And those very first images were in Life magazine. These are the first photographs that we took for people with albinism, and I was going to put them in a fashion magazine, but instead we put them in Life magazine. It's changed everything when that magazine came out. Oh, Claire!
When I saw the picture of myself in Life magazine, it was so exciting, and it was beyond anything that I would have ever imagined happening.
When the Life magazine piece hit the stands, I started getting calls from people all over the world with albinism. People from New Zealand, people from Asia, people from London, and they were inviting me to please come. I was watching your video of the children in Africa, and I was brought to tears of how beautifully they sang. I'm a 32-year-old woman with albinism, and it's so nice to see that there are people who don't see us as monsters. Positive Exposure is a program that I started a few years ago, which is really about challenging stigma associated with having a physical difference. Currently, we've probably up to about 60 or 70 different genetic conditions.
Marfan syndrome is a collagen disorder, so it elongates you. My hands are typical Marfan hands. They're elongated. A lot of people ask me if I play the piano because they're really, really long, but I guess they come in handy sometimes, grabbing things. I think they're beautiful, but I'm not a model, and I've never really worked in that sort of setting before, but he made it comfortable. He made me feel like at ease, and I didn't feel like I was different.
Amazing, you're so beautiful. Oh, just like that. Oh, gorgeous. Let's go get your head back a little bit. Oh, gorgeous.
Just because I have albinism, I can be fine. I can be like any other person. I'm not unnormal. I'm definitely normal.
To see this kid coming who was teased when she was a little kid and people didn't understand her, stared at but didn't quite get it, to turn into this really confident, sassy, has such an attitude. It's just a thrill. How amazing you are.
That works for me.
It works for you.
Rick started with us when Lexi was 3 months old. So Lexi's grown up with Rick, and I think he's created also a very positive self-image for Lexi.
I was at a conference in the UK that I met a 14-year-old girl. She looked right in my eyes and she was 14 and she said, you know, Rick, I realize though that now I can be proud of my albinism. She said, but I do realize though that the hatred and the abuse that I experience every single day will never disappear. But what has disappeared is the hatred that I felt for myself. I don't think I've chosen what matters. I think it's chosen me. That kid to be able to walk into a room with their head up and knowing how glorious they are, that's what matters.
She's like this tall now. When did you get so tall? You look so amazing.